Now, with all that being said, he used the Moroccans and the Egyptians as an example. And I'm like, if anybody does their history, if you really go down that rabbit hole, you will know that those present day Egyptians that are light skinned, that look Arabic, and Moroccans that you see, most of those present day North Africans that you see that are not like the regular black people are not indigenous Africans. There's been an influx of Arabs in Africa and a lot of genetic mixing and all of that, and somehow they've become the majority in some of these countries. It still does not mean that they are indigenous Africans. And it's unfortunate that in some of these African countries where these Arabs have come in and intermarried and influenced them with their religion and all of that stuff, some of the indigenous Africans there have actually lost their identity, whereby they now identify more as Arabs than as actual Africans, and then they separate themselves from other black people. Now, if you're talking about being black, some of us Africans here see ourselves as Africans or Nigerians or Ghanaians or Kenyans or whatever. We identify with our nationality. But those that are aware of, the whole global politics and racial construct as a whole, those that are educated understand the concept of race and how we have been categorized into black, white, Asian, brown, people of color. We understand that racial category. So we identify as black. Now, black people, some of us don't like to say we are black because we believe that there's some negative connotations to the word, and also because we believe that our skin is not actually black, we are brown. But now, black is a word that has, of course, we know it was created by these people that started race racism. It was their way of classifying people of African descent. So, because of how many Africans have been widely spread due to slavery and all of that, we no longer use the word African to refer to ourselves, but we use the word black to refer to all people of African descent, no matter the part of the world that we find ourselves. So if you, as an African, believe you're not black, because maybe you believe it's a word that the other Africans that were taken away during transatlantic slavery that are now in the diaspora, you believe that is a word they should use to describe themselves. Unfortunately, I understand where that sentiment might come from, but you are still wrong, because the fact that they were taken away from Africa doesn't make them any less in tune with their African heritage. So, yes, we are still African people, we are still black people. Now, you have the choice to decide to not want to associate with the word black, but you see that African heritage, you are still African. Now, if you notice, when he said, I am not black, I am Somali, he didn't say, I am not black, I am African. So that also suggests that he doesn't even see himself as African. And I know that some Somali people, not just Somali, some of the East Africans, Eritreans, Ethiopians, they see themselves more as Arabs than as black. And I feel like that is problematic. And now they start talking about how their facial features are different, how their culture is different, but there are different kinds of facial features that different groups of Africans have, different tribes of Africans have. For instance, with South Africans, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, the Khoi people, I hope I'm right with the name of the tribe. Please forgive me if I'm making a mistake. But because of the way they look, they have very distinct facial features from other Africans. Like their eyes, people have said that their eyes are similar to Asians. So does that make them any less African? Or maybe we should restart classifying them as Asians because they have eyes that are similar to Asians? You see how it doesn't make sense? So the thing now is, if you're an African, if you're part of the African continent, or you prefer somehow to identify more as Arab than African, have you actually stopped to ask yourself, even if the Arabs identify you as one of them? Because last time I checked, they don't. If for any reason, it is we that will still accept you.
Somali people and Sudanese people, please stop claiming that you are Arab. You are not Arab, my brother. You are African. Antum Africa. Antum Sud يا رجال. وليس هناك في الأرض. أنتم سود. لديكم لغات. You speak language. You have your language. You are not Arab. Arab is not because you speak
No, we're not doing no science project because you're supposed to look to school today.
You from Mama Africa. Right. Clearly. Wake up, Africa, please wake up. This is how we become enslaved back in the day because we just want to be something that we're not belong to. Don't try that. Don't try it. I woke you up and I told you to get up. Please stop claiming that you are Arab. Then why you didn't hear nothing is because when you finally did try to get up, I went back to sleep. Because they know you're Arab. Please don't claim that you're from Yemen, you're from Saudi. No, you're from Somalia, and Somalia is Africa. Please stop this nonsense. Wallahi, Somali is the most hypocrisy people in the earth. When you see Arab, you say we are Arab. When you see black, you say we are black. When you see African, you say you're African. You're hypocrisy, you're motherfucking slaves.
And on the grand scheme of things, when you find yourself in a Western country where people are classified according to race and skin color, guess what? You're going to be grouped with the rest of us. In the eyes of a white supremacist, in the eyes of a racist, you are a black person. But then, you don't want to associate with other black people, you don't want to be called black, you probably even want to disassociate yourself from other Africans. That's fine. You can do your thing, nobody's going to force an identity on you. But in the long run, when you face whatever it is you face in the eyes of people that don't like black people, are you going to expect other black people that you are struggling to disassociate yourself from to now band together to try to help you or to protest on your behalf? Like, what exactly are you expecting? Like, good luck fighting that white supremacy on your own. Good luck standing on your own as a Somali or whichever nationality you choose to claim, as opposed to, seeing yourself as part of the collective of people of African descent or people that classify themselves as black. So the long and short of this whole thing is, I think it's just some form of anti-blackness for them to feel like even though they have this skin and they are found in Africa, they'd rather disassociate from blackness and probably lean more towards that Arab side. To me, it screams anti-blackness, but it's all good and it's quite sad, but it's comical as well. You guys just let me know what you think in the comment section. Have you seen like these Somali people say that? Not even Somali people, I'm sure it's not just them that say it. I've heard the whole, I'm not black, I'm Dominican, even though they are black. There are a lot of people of African descent that tend to disassociate from their blackness or from their African heritage. And I think it's just really sad because we've been taught to hate ourselves and we have a long way to go. Anyway, you guys just let me know what you think in the comment section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Now, I went to school called North Westminster, and if anyone knew about the school when I was growing up, the school was racially divided, meaning black people hang around with black people, Arabs hang around with Arabs, the Kosovans and Albanians used to hang around with each other, the Bengalis hang around with the Bengalis, and the white people, like English white, they were the minority in my school. So there's one white person in my class, for example, and they hang around with whoever would fucking accept them at the time. But anyway, when it came to fights, our school always had racial fights. So it's always blacks versus Arabs, blacks versus Bengalis, blacks versus Moroccans. It was always blacks versus someone. But when it came to the fights, the Somalians never got involved. And I used to piss me off. Like, because I used to say, bruv, you're blacker than anyone else. How are you not involved in this fight when it's clearly the fight is between black people and whoever it was at the time? So I kind of grew up with that kind of mentality, like Somalians. And so one day I was speaking to a Somalian elder, and I was explaining to him how I felt about the situation. And he turned around to me and he went, look, before Westerners came to this country, right? Before Westerners, came to Africa, Europeans, white Europeans, you wasn't judged on your color the same way you're judged on your color right now. Things wasn't as black and white as they are right now. You represented your tribe. A Somalian man wouldn't look at a Nigerian man and go, there goes a black man. If those two would have crossed each other's paths back then, whatever Nigeria may have been called back then, and he would look at the Somalian man and goes, there goes another black man. It would be, there goes the Somalian man. You understand? So Somalians are very proud people. We now live in a world where we believe us as black people need to represent the whole of black people. That's impossible. The reality is that we have different cultures, we have different beliefs. Because we share the same skin tone, it doesn't mean we're the same people. You understand? It's like saying an Englishman is a Frenchman. Call a Frenchman or white Englishman, let's see what he does. You understand? You can't have a Chinese man is not a Taiwanese. He's not Vietnamese. He's not a Korean. You understand? He's Chinese. So I think we definitely need to come out of this mindset that all black people represent each other. We can't. It's impossible. I would see like English black people trying to share the same problems as, for example, American black people. American black people and English black people have two separate different problems. We have different levels of racism. As a black man in the United Kingdom, I am highly privileged. I don't have the same problems as black Americans do. And that's the honest truth.
Oh, her. Why does she sound like
Don't count on your face, whole face. Not face our words from today. Now, give up on fight like a man.
sorry?
You know what to do. So do it if you want to.
I cannot do
But the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
it. What the ugliest thing I ever seen.
Mind your business, my friend. Did I ask for your help? This is embarrassing. Put me down.
It's embarrassing.
I'm not going anywhere. You will stay here and watch that